In the previous episodes, together we have learned about publishing in Scopus, from preparing our materials or papers, selecting good and reputable journals, and cherry picking quality sources for our publications. Today will be the final session of our lecture titled Publishing in Scopus, the Politics in Publications. Thank you to those who joined us since the previous sessions, but still, we appreciate those who just discovered this brief webinar. Okay, and before I further, I'd like to mention that the attendance link is on the screen. Kindly check the link or scan the QR code on the screen so you can secure your attendance. Okay. All right. Join us until the end of this session today, because in this fourth session, we will be led once again by the Deputy Director of the Publication Unit, Dr. Randy A. Tudi. Sir?
Right, thank you, Sir Ken. Let me share my slide. Okay, so good morning, good evening for those in the other areas. Like we have one here from the States joining us. Thank you. So as mentioned by Sir Ken, we are now on the last session of this first batch of lecture series. So as mentioned in our session one, that was on March 22, we talk about publishing in Scopus first things first. Then on April 17, we talk about focus on the target. Last month, we talked about quality of sources. And today, I will talk about the politics in publications. Actually, it's like a metaphor calling it politics in publication, but there is really something like politics in publication. Like like what you will learn today. But for the sake of newcomers and also for the sake of those who have attended this since the session one, I will summarize the first session to the last session before I will talk about the politics and publication, which is actually a very short lecture for session number 4. So by the way, this whole series, lecture series, is inspired by an article that I wrote, The Journey of a Non-Native English Speaker Towards Scopus Publication. So most of the things, not really most, but a good number of my points in sharing for these 4 sessions are actually taken from this article. So if you want, you can also download this article. This is downloadable, free of charge, uh, published by the Recoletos Multidisciplinary Research Journal, which is also indexed in Scopus. Okay, so today we'll talk about publishing in Scopus first thing. No. This is the first session, publishing in Scopus first things first. All right, so in this lecture, last March, I taught you about how to select a journal, a reputable journal, and we start with looking into the Scopus. So you go to the Scopus.com, and then when you are there, you click the source, as you can see in the arrow, then you will be given this one, download Scopus source list. So if you click that one, if you have no account yet in Scopus, you will be asked to create an account, just like a Facebook. So you create very briefly, and then you can already download the list of articles. So this is the old download, so you can still see some of the things that are not anymore found in the new one. So like this, so you have the list, thousands of journals, index, and Scopus. So in other words, it is already in a Excel form that you have the list. Okay, in the old Excel form that you can download, it includes already the site score. If you notice, I inserted those with low uh, site score, meaning these are still Scopus, but low impact factor, meaning logically it would tell us that these journals with low impact factor, these are journals are not yet so very strict. First, you go to like the number one, 4.26 site score. Number two is 2.15. These are already high-end journals that are very difficult to submit there or publish. So what you can do is, if you have the list, you can highlight the right column of the titles, right? And then you can control F so that you can have this find what. Then you can start uh, typing your discipline. For example, if discipline is education, leadership, engineering, or specific, then you can find. Just click find next, and it will give you the list of a particular journal. Then please take note that on the other column, there is that status if it is active or inactive. So make sure you only choose journals that are active. Okay, so for example, in my case, I was able to search for a journal. The title is Educational Management Administration and Leadership. So I copied the name and go to Google so that I can visit the website. Right. But when I look at the impact factor, it's 3.6. So medyo mataas. I withdraw. I find another journal. Okay. So that's for impact factor. Other how we call this, impact factor measurement. So you have the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So Q1 would be the highest. So if you want, if you're a neophyte researcher, maybe you only consider Q4 or Q3. Okay, so these are some of the journals you can find in Scopus, Geodetic Engineering. So also if there is no site score now in the new list of Scopus that can be downloaded, you can go back to scopus.com and then you click sources, then you can type the journal here, and you will see the site score here. So for example, I type the Journal of Geodetic Society of Japan. So here, the site score is 0.1. So this is okay for geodetic engineers if you want to publish your article. Okay, so you can go back to Scopus, then you will see the site score. Okay, if it is not listed or if that's not part of the document that you downloaded from Scopus. Okay, but you can also go to WOS or Word of Science. So this is the main, uh, this is the website for the Word of Science. So for example, this one, mjclaveret.com.com. So you can type the journal there. If the journal is listed, then it will appear. Okay, so an example of this is my latest journal that can be also, latest article in the Journal of Archives of Public Health. Okay. And the other one is ASEAN Citation Index, especially for those in the SUCs. You know that journals indexed in ASEAN are considered for promotion. So if you have an article published in a journal indexed in ASEAN, so this can be used for your promotion. So we can go to Google, ASEAN Citation Index, you type, and then you will be in this site. Then you click the journals, and on the lower right, there is another search box. Okay. So if you type agriculture, then you will be provided with all the journals indexed in ASEAN Citation Index that are for agriculture. Again, just like in Scopus, please take note of the status if it is active or discontinued. Of course, you don't choose those that are discontinued. Okay, for us in USEP, we also have suggested ACI index journals. So for those who are at USEP in all campuses, it is already a memo. You can download, no, yes, you can download, or you can also just look at the Google Drive link for these journals. Okay, so the next, in April 17, our topic was on focus on the target, meaning if you have already chosen a journal, what you will do with the journal being chosen. So for example, these are the journals that you can find in Scopus, Higher Education Research and Development, International Journal of Civil Engineering, International Journal, etc. These are actually journals that are, which there are disciplines at USEP in different campuses. Okay, so like this one, this is for arts research and education. So if you have already chosen a journal, for example, in my case, Higher Education Research and Development, as an example lang, please go to the instruction for authors. So sometimes it is guide for authors or instruction for authors. The thing, there are many things. Of course, you have to read everything. But first things first, ano yung unang babasahin dito? In my case, I would always look at the word limits, the referencing style, and of course, the publication style. So, uunahin ko yon so that if the word limits, kaya lang, dito ako, pero pag hindi na kaya, for example, the minimum is 10,000. Yung paper ko is only 5,000. Ang hirap namang magdagdag to reach the 10,000. Or if your article is already into 15,000 words and the journal only requires 5,000, mahirap yun i-reduce. So, number one to look is the number of or the word limit. Second is the referencing style and of course the payment. So for example, in this journal, it says that maximum of 7,000 words. So meaning, do not submit an article that is only 6,999 words because the maximum, no, no, uh, sorry, maximum is, do not submit more than 7,000. All right. There are also journals that have ranges. So for example, 6,000 to 8,000. So it should be within that numbers, no, that you submit your article within those number of words. Do not go below, do not go beyond. Okay, so for example, in this case, the referencing style of this article is APA. Since most of us in the education and social science, most journals are using APA. Others are Chicago, Vancouver, etc. Okay, so in-text citation. And then, so that's for the referencing style. So first, number of words. Second is the referencing style. Why APA? Because if your paper is rejected, then you will submit to another journal. For me, I will choose still a journal that uses APA. Because if not, I have to change everything. And well, it's a tedious work to change the in-text citation and the list of references. Although if you are using the referencing tool in Microsoft Word, it's easy to change. The next is the payment. So you have to look at the APC, the article processing charge. So in this case, I showed to you some examples of very expensive journals. So for example, this Nature Communications, that's 4,530 euros. So mahal kayo. That's per article. All right? In fact, yung latest article namin, yung pinakita ko kanina, the payment of that is 150 plus thousand just for that article alone. So there are journals that really ask for payment and very expensive. So it is your decision to choose a journal if kaya sa bulsa. I have 4 articles in Scopus. 3 of those articles, no payment because a lot of journals in Scopus are free of charge. Yes, actually. Okay. So you look at those 3 things, and then after that, if you have read all the instruction for authors, the next thing you will do is choose a model article. So from that journal, for example, you are doing a systematic review of literature. So you look for an article in that journal which is also about systematic review or similar topic to that of your article. So you can download so that it will become your model article. So meaning you have already the model article. If in the introduction has 2 paragraphs only, then you revise your paper with an introduction of 2 paragraphs only. What is the first sentence of the introduction? Is it about a topic sentence? Is it about definition? So you also follow that. Okay? So even if I am not an expert in engineering, so if you download an article, model article of the journal you want to submit, then you just follow that. You don't need me to teach you because I'm not also an engineer. So you will be guided by the model article. So that's a good thing about doing this kind of technique. Okay, so just an example, abstract. The keywords here are separated by semicolon. Usually the keywords are separated by just a comma. So if that is the model article, then you follow. Okay? Example, in this introduction, you notice in the first sentence of the introduction, it's plus to the left. It's not indented. But the second paragraph, it is already indented. Okay? So if that is your model article, you follow the format. Okay? So in this case, the introduction has number 1. Number one, introduction. So number two, review of related literature whatsoever. So you follow according to the model article. Okay? So I think that's the same. Then in May last month, we talked about quality of sources. What does it mean? So here, editors will not only look into your title and abstract, kasi after looking at you, well, there are editors who do that. You look at the title, they look at, they like the title, they read the abstract, then after that, they go to your references. Okay? I just had a meeting now because we had a benchmarking from NORSO or NEMSO. They have a benchmarking here in our university because they would like also their journal to be indexed in Scopus. And one of the our editor-in-chief who shared, one of the things he mentioned was about your your sources, list of references. Make sure these are also from Scopus. So imagine, so that's it. Quality of sources. Okay? So first thing is make sure that what you are citing has a DOI. This is very basic. All even predatory journals have DOI. Okay, articles. But basic. If there is no DOI, you might wonder what kind of article or source is this. So minimum is DOI. Okay, usually if you go to Google Scholar, if you click the site, you click that site, you will only be given this. There is no DOI, right? So what you will do is you go back to the URL of the article, then find the DOI. So you right click, then copy link address, copy link address, and you paste it here. So the one above is actually what Google Scholar will just give you. The one below is what Google Scholar will give you plus the DOI that you copied from the URL of the article. Okay, so you talk about the quality of sources, make sure that the publisher of your article comes from popular and legitimate publishers. So some examples here, Sage, Emerald, Elsevier, PubMed, Taylor and Francis, Plus One, Thomson and Reuters, Eric, etc., Wiley, etc. Okay? So for example, in my case, this is my study now, Artificial Intelligence in Education. When I click that one, then I click 2024, what I see, the first article is published by Elsevier. The second article is published by Springer. So for the first two, okay sa akin yan. If I'm going to cite this one, I will cite that one. But the number three is from Reuner.Unier.net. Hindi ko kilala yan. I'm not familiar with that. I will not include that. Okay? Because we are only up to quality sources. Example, I also type artificial intelligence in engineering. I click 2023, for example. The first article from journal itscience.org. Well, I'm not an engineer, so for me, I'm not familiar. But the second, third, and fourth, Springer, Elsevier, Springer. Okay, that's okay. All right, so this is what. Now, there are also techniques to make sure that all the articles that you will be reading are really coming from legitimate, popular, and legitimate publisher. So what you can do, for example, in my case, Artificial Intelligence in Education 2024, I will add that Taylor and Francis. So all, all the listing from Google Scholar are from Taylor and Francis. So you notice that? Okay, so that's for the quality of sources. Artificial intelligence in business and tourism, for example, then Sage, you want it from Sage. So the first is Emerald. I think Emerald is also part of Sage. So the rest, Emerald, SagePub.com, etc. So you're already sure that your sources would really come from this publisher part. I consider that as popular publishers. Or before submitting, you check all your uh, list of references if the journal is indexed in Scopus. So that's also one. After. So those that are not indexed, you can remove. Okay? And do not include journals listed as potential predatory. Just like those that are listed by Bill or Jeffrey Bill. Although this is not really official, but the fact that it is listed there as potential predatory, you better remove those sources or citations. Now, in the University of Southeastern Philippines, through our office, we also issued a memorandum guidelines for avoiding predatory journals. Meron din kami dyan sa USEP. Okay, these are some of the things that we copied from a particular university as a guide. And you can also go to Bill's list if you want. Now, hijack journals. Okay, I think I emphasized this last month, no, that there are already journals now that are seem legitimate using the name of the legitimate journal, using the ISSN and for print and online. They use the same number, but they are hijacked journals, meaning they are not really that journal. They are just using the name. So last month I told you that a lot of our colleagues, no, in the academe in Davao region was victimized by this particular journal, and you see that because they are very proud in putting that in Facebook that their article is published in Scopus, only to find out that it was actually a hijacked journal. Okay, I will not mention what journal, but I hope uh, to be able to know if the journal is legitimate or not. You go to their previous issues, like the previous issue of that journal, find the author, one of the authors, then you go to Scopus, there is an author there, you click, then if the article published in that supposedly hijacked journals can be found in Scopus, so that is a legitimate. But if not, so that is a hijacked journal. Okay? All right. So there's also a list of potential hijacked journals in Bill's list. Okay. Now, I just submitted my latest article. I submitted 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. The requirement is at least 70% of my list of references should be coming from or should be indexed in Scopus. Okay? Others, they would really need 100% of the citations should be coming from journals indexed in Scopus. So at least this journal, which is just uh, recently indexed in Scopus, they just have 70%. Okay? All right. So today we will talk about politics in publication. So what do you mean by politics in publication? Okay, first is if it is a high-end journal, especially with high-impact journals, they will look at the author. Who is the author? Okay? Is this author has many publications indexed in Scopus? Why are they interested in that? Because one of the criteria for a Scopus Index journal is the impact factor of your journal. How is it? How many times it is being cited? The articles are being cited. So if there is an author who will submit to that journal and it's his first submission or he has no publication in Scopus yet, the editors might be hesitant to accept it. Okay? Why? Because the author is not yet known. It's not yet known. And probably this will not be cited. So your article becomes a liability of that journal. All right? That is why they are very concerned with journal impact factor or site score. Okay? All right. So what to do is just like what my colleagues there, no, doing the benchmarking, some of the editors are there, and some of their suggestions is make sure that if you want to really publish, that you also collaborate with international authors. So they are your co-authors, etc. Because we are not yet known. We are not yet known in the scientific community. We're not yet experts in the field that we claim to be expert. Okay? So yeah, so you partner with so if you want to start with, then you partner with already known authors. Okay, you might want to invite them to be your co-author, and they will make substantive contribution to your paper with their suggestions and comments. That's it. Okay. I don't know if I can still show to you my latest article. If it is, I think part of it. There are 44 of us authors. Later on, I will show. Okay. So, for example, in this SPGRD journal, in our journal, in USEF, may nag-submit yung author si Tan Raymond. So, I will go to Scopus and I will search who is this Stan Raymond who is submitting in our prayer. How I always mag-submit ito. So tiningnan ko, oh my goodness. Citations of Raymond Tan is 14,396 and he has 574 publications or articles in Scopus. So this person, pag mag-submit ito sa journal nyo, wala na siguro kayong masyadong comment nito. Kasi grabe, tingnan mo yung ang niya, record niya. Okay? So ito pa lang, no, for 2024 alone, I can only see 10 articles, no, because I am not subscribed to Scopus, so hindi ko makita lahat ng mga publications. So what did you notice for Raymond Tan of Lasal? What did you notice sa kanyang publications? Wala kang makita dito sa first four lang kasi hindi ko na makita yung iba. Wala kang makita dito na siya lang isa. It is always a collaboration of two, three, four, and many more authors. Okay? So the name of the game now is actually collaboration. In fact, there are journals or there are editors who will not accept paper for single authorship. Yes, there are. They will not accept single authorship. Okay? So collaboration. So this is what I mentioned, Dr. Tan from LaSalle, ranked 1,043 in the world in terms research.com list for engineering and technology scientists. Yung kasama niya sa LaSalle, si Chu, is 3,518 ranked in the world for social science and humanities. Okay? Alright. Okay. Ito yung latest publication ko, no? So yung pangalan ko nandito, but there are how many of us? 44. 10 countries, but 44 authors. Ito yung sinasabi kong bayad nito is 150 plus thousand. Of course, I did not pay. Yung nag-pay nito, I think yung first author namin yung university niya. Okay? So yun, the journal's editor's corner. So yun, tinitingnan nila yung authorship. Okay? Aside from the quality of your sources, was also the authors. That's why it's so difficult, lalo na ngayon for SUCs, those aspiring to become professor because the requirement is sole authorship. Mahirap talaga yun because, again, as I mentioned, may mga journals na ngayon, hindi tumatanggap ng sole authorship. Yeah. And the name of the game is collaboration. But there are still journals who would accept. So, pahirapan ko ang pag-publish ng sole authorship. Okay? Then, this is the other politics in publication. When you've already revised your paper and you're about to submit to this journal, make sure that part of at least two or three of your citations are also published in that particular journal. O, yun ang politics in publication. Kasi if you have not cited a paper in our journal, how you believe in our journal? All right? So it's either you cite the editor, but make sure, remember, you will have already downloaded a model article. So of course, you cite that model article because most likely also, the author of that model article might be a peer reviewer of your paper. Because if I am an editor and you submit your paper, I will look for my previous publication articles, authors of the same topic or similar topic. So most likely, the model article that you downloaded, the author of that might be your peer reviewer. So make sure i-cite mo na yan. Okay? So I think that's the other one. Another politics in publication. As much as possible, you submit your paper outside the Philippines. Oh, why? Why outside the Philippines? Ang dami, like SPGRD, it's in the Philippines. Because in each journal, for Scopus, you are only allowed 20% of, 20% of the authors of that issue, like issue number 1, issue number 2. Per issue, only 20% of the authors coming from your institution. So for example, USEP, our next issue or our issue last March, only 20% or less of the authors come from USEP. The rest are from Vietnam and other countries and other institutions also. So Just like, for example, I have a paper, although it was not Scopus, it was like a solicited paper, meaning asking me to submit a paper there. Why? Because they are looking, it's in Africa, because they are looking for articles of foreign authors, because I'm foreigner to Africa, because they're also preparing their paid journal to be indexed in Scopus. Because we want in our journal articles authored by foreigners. So those Philippine editors or journals in the Philippines, they are more interested in articles authored by foreigners. So for you, be a foreigner to other country so that you will also be accepted. Okay, so I think that's all for our lecture series number 4 and for the whole lecture series 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if there are questions, so I am now willing to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tudi, for your insights on the politics and publications, giving us the idea that collaborations in publications and citations have great impact to the research community, not only in your own institution, but also globally. So now we are in the Q&A portion of the session. To everyone, should you have questions, you may press the raise hand button below. You can also chat your question or concern, or you can just open your camera and microphone for better interaction experience. Okay, all right, I think there is a question here, sir, in the comment box. I am looking for publication where I can publish my research about education, and the other one is about English language and communication. May recommended po ba kayo na publication that suits po sa said discipline?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yes, but I will not recommend because there are too many. So what you can do is like reviewing the lecture 2 ba yun? Yung lecture 1.
One.
You go to Scopus, you download, and then you uh, highlight the column for the titles, and then Control F. So if you want about English, you type English, and you will be given the list of journals for English. You can also go to ASEAN Citation Index, the same. You click the journals, you search, sa search box, type mo yung English or whatever is your discipline, then you will be given the list of journals. So yun lang. Dali lang. But I cannot give you specific one because, for example, I'm not an English teacher. So hindi ko alam yung discipline. But I give you the technique on how to search for legitimate journals, lalo na sa Scopus at saka sa ASEAN Citation Index. Okay, Ken? Mayroon pa ba, Ken?
Yes, sir.
Sir Ken?
My other question, what parts of the paper should be included when preparing a manuscript for a Scopus Index publication?
What part of the paper? I'm not sure, but again, download a model article. Yun talaga ang ko, download a model article and pattern your manuscript or article based on the model article. Yun, kasi accepted na yun eh. And most likely, the peer reviewer will also be the author of that journal. So, i-follow mo yun. So, if the introduction includes the review of related literature, then that's it. Do not put a separate subsection of review of related literature because in the model article, there is none. It's just part of the introduction. So, just follow the model article.
Okay, sir, we have another question po from John Raymond Torres. Medyo mahaba po ng question, sir. Are there any watch list issued by CHED or steps to report these hijacked journals and predatory-like journals? Many of us in SUCs are using this publication for reclassification or promotion. And how can this problem be really solved? And what can we do to put these potentially predatory, hijack, or clone journals in the watch list, despite they are found in recognized index database like in Scopus, like in Web of Science by Clarivate? Yan, sir.
Yeah, I understand, no? Sir John Raymond is also from SUC. First, CHED, because I came from CHED. He was there 2 years for 2 years. I'm just 1 year, almost 1 year here at USEF. Uh, CHED could not, as of this time, could not give the list of predatory journals. Wala po. Since time, that's why nagka-problema tayo during the cycle 9 ba yun? No? But, but, if the journal is listed in bill, the decision of the board, or even the yung sa before pa sa board, it's already being flagged. It will not be accepted anymore. Just like as in USEP, for incentives, for example, kasi we give incentives like 60,000, 40,000, or 30,000 for Scopus index article, journal, we will not give if the journal is listed in the bills list. Although bills list is not an official one. So as to how, so what we did when I was in CHED, some SUCs wrote to CHED, no, regional office, asking for this question, your question, Sir John Raymond. So what we did was we replied. We replied a letter and we gave, just like what, yung ginawa ko sa Yusef, actually ginawa ko na yan sa CHED. So we gave a guideline how to avoid. And one of the guidelines is to avoid those journals listed in bills. So what I suggest is if you really want to use that also for your promotion, it's not really for promotion, but when you want to publish, and the second one is to include that in your promotion, make sure that you follow what I taught you in this lecture series, from lecture series number 1 and also lecture series number 2, especially the lecture series number 1, in choosing the right journal. And to do that is you go to Scopus and you go to ASEAN Citation Index. Now, when you have chosen that, make sure also that you do not, you also recheck that with Bill's list, because there are journals, index and Scopus. I think this is what the second point of Sir John. It's already in Scopus, but still listed in Bills or in Jeffrey Bill's list. So yan, problema natin yan. So the real problem is because there are several journals already found or indexed in reputable index databases and can give her, you don't, meron ba siyang binigay? Wag na. Kaya nga, so wag na. Especially for us in issues, hindi na tayo mag-publish doon sa mga questionable. Sayang din naman. The problem with questionable is it's so easy to publish there. Tantayan din nato, sayang. In fact, ngayon, I just mentioned about hijack journals. I look at the latest issue, ang dami po doon galing sa issues. Issues ng Davao Region. Makalagay doon. Kilala ko pa yung ibang authors, but sayang, hindi nila namalayan na ano pala, hijack pala yan. How many times mag-screen yung Scopus for inclusion? Sir Ken, can you answer that question? Yung kay Sir Louis Gala.
For that, sir, actually, it's not really that transparent sa kanilang website for now. Kasi yung pag-scopus ng SPGRD was not really expected to um, to be released in few months. So parang walang specific naman, sir, kung kailan lalabas. Maybe, um, I think, ano, sir, parang September. September din, sir, yung isa. I don't know how many times or how frequent they screen the ano po, sir, yung yung inclusion sa Scopus ng journal. Pero I believe uh, September is included kasi yun yung time na na-Scopus yung SPGRD din.
Okay, thank you, Sir Ken. By the way, Sir Louis, if you're from SUC, our office, our university welcomes benchmarking. No? Kagaya ngayon, anong university gani ang
Ano,
nag-benchmark
sir?
yan, Sir, right?
Negros Oriental State University or NORSU.
We have, so the Negros Oriental State University, nandito sila ngayon benchmark. So if you want, you can come. Mas marami kaming maibigay na information. Journals, annual po ba? I'm not sure with that.
Sir, my question po, sir, from Joe James Gadi. How can we connect with foreign authors to explore the possibility of collaboration on a Scopus Index publication?
I think, Sir Ken, you can answer that. Alam mo yung ginawa ng ating mga authors sa Yosef. Sige, you can answer.
Well, to Sir Joe James Gadi, actually what we have done is, or nakikommunicate kami sa mga kilalang international reviewers or authors ng mga faculty. At ginawa din nila is during the conferences that they have attended, then they met people and they talk about publications and citations and any works related to publications. And they discuss about the possibility of working together in the future. And there, when the time came, yung faculty namin may publication na parang nag-tap lang siya dun sa na-meet niya na international experts or researchers, then they discuss about possibility of working together. So, therefore, one way of collaborating is to join conferences and talking to people, talking to international researchers, and ano pa ba? Ano sir? Sending email. Parang, pero basically sir, yun yung nag-create kasi ng band yung sa conferences kasi nag-uusap talaga regarding publications. Rare lang masyado yung nagsasend ng email, tas doon lang nag-communicate. Yun lang, sir. Then, meron ding, um, ano, sir, may isang faculty na yung reviewer niya is kinulab niya, sir. Parang nakipagtulungan siya dun sa reviewer niya. Then, ay, hindi pala reviewer. Yung kilala niyang, ano, sir, parang colleague niya, parang friends of friends, ganun, sir. Yung colleague niya is may kilalang international na expert with the same discipline. Then they talked about the study. Then eventually they work together. Yun yung isang way dun po, sir.
Thank you, Sir Ken. Kung may dagdag ko lang sa sinabi ni Sir Ken, yung sinabi niya, when you attend conferences, be friends with them. Ako'y dugang na pabaga, putag naong. Ya, pabagag naong. That's number one. Ikaduha, magdala kag sugong. Kabalo man sa isugong, kana bitang sa kanang mananggiti. Na may gagmay ana, kanang gagmay bitaw kayo nasa kuan nasa unsa ganin nang kuan kanang mamaligya ay diha sa wala na ron. May Ateneo, Agbang, sa na diha
Aliving ko.
Tingin ko, namalit ko dihag sugong, kanang sugong nga gamay ba, gamay nga keychain. So magdala ko og kanang calling card, panghatag na ko silang calling card nato apil tong sugong ginindot makita naon nga na may Philippines. Wow, Randy, thank you Randy. Ana din sila. So be friends with them then later on na you are already collaborating with them. Okay, so next question, meron pa ba? Yung YouTube. Okay, YouTube at saka yung PPT ko. No, I'm not giving my PPT and I'm not putting that in YouTube. Why? Pag interesado ka talaga, nakikinig ka sa akin. Second is, we are saving the video. Lagay namin sa USEP. So sa USEP po na namin yung sa aming UVE. Okay? Dili na kani mo muna akong lecture, if you notice, this is the only lecture nga very short. Karon lang kita niabot og 1 hour. So meron ako mga lecture dito sa Yosef na 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Yun lang, pang-trigger lang po yun. Kasi you don't really learn enough in a lecture. Pang-trigger lang po. Kung kinsay ma-trigger din sa inyo din that would be my success story. Kaya ma-trigger mo ba nga maningkamot pa? No, because you cannot really learn everything in simple lecture, even if it is one day, lalo na online. Because most people in online do not really participate 100%. You know that. Okay, propog ko. Okay? Ched, Sir Raymond, I don't think really Ched could release that because it's so difficult to investigate each journal, either
Yes.
it is predatory or not. It's so difficult. Alam namin yan in the publication unit. Mahirap. In fact, Mao ganinang napailag kaso si Bill. Pailan siya kaso kay appeal niya. So mahirap talaga, mahirap. So that's why better wala. So that's our limitation. So to make sure na lang yun, ayaw na lang yun og publish if it is listed in the potential predatory listing. Yun lang. Sige lang po. Yung from Joseph, don't worry. You will have the video later on sa ating UVE. Okay, I think that's all for today, Sir Ken. Thank you for all who are attending since day one, since lecture series number one and up to today. And we will be organizing, magplano pa kami sa next series of lecture. So thank you very much, everyone from different places joining us. You will have
Okay.
your certificate later, as
Yes,
Sir
sir.
Ken will explain. Thank you, Sir Ken.
All right, that's a wrap for the last session of the lecture series in 2024. Thank you, everyone, once again for joining us up to this point. And I hope that the papers you are working on will be finally accepted in reputable journals you have submitted to or will be submitting to. At this moment, I'd like to request everyone for photo opportunities. May you please open your camera? We'll have to take a minute to screen capture for documentation purposes. All right. All right. Our colleague, Miss Hannah, will take the screenshot of our photos today. Okay. One, two, three. One, two, three. Another panel. One, two, three. One, two, three. All right. All right. I think that's it. Okay. All right. I hope we may see you again when we conduct another significant lectures or webinars about publications in the future. We still have SPGRD talks on July 19 next month. And we will discuss certain topics that are or that were published in SPGRD. Not only published in SPGRD, not only published by authors who have published in SPGRD, but also the publications of our reviewers and editors. So you can follow our Facebook page for updates or news about our endeavors related to publications. All right. And before we close this meeting, you will see a QR code on the screen. You see a QR code on the screen. That is our evaluation for this activity. Kindly accomplish the evaluation. When you successfully submitted your evaluation, your e-certificate for your participation in this event will be automatically sent to your email you used or put in the evaluation. All right. So if you have further questions or any concerns, you may send your email to publication@usep.edu.ph. Or if you have inquiries about publications, or if you consider our journal as your prospect journal to submit your paper to, you can check our website at journal.usep.edu.ph. That would be all. Thank you so much, and good morning.